All right, we're back. We're back on the stream. We're back. We're back. Are we back? We're back. We're back. All right. So, where were we? We were working on the bridge of the Want to Want Me arrangement that I have for a concert that's coming up on March 1st. I have to arrange a bunch of pop songs. I don't have to. I'm just going to arrange a bunch of pop songs with like crazy jazz chords and stuff. And so right now I'm putting the finishing touches on the arrangement for Want to Want Me, which is Jason Derulo, but I did a cover of it like in a small group, like Sungazer, so just a duo plus guitar plus sequenced keys. And now I'm writing it for like this whole horn band plus real live singer. And real live singer is going to be kind of a challenge because one of the things is that it starts in the key of C minor. And then the bridge is kind of sort of in C minor. Oh, actually, those horns are way too loud. Let's make that a solid P. Let's do a P. PP. Not PP, just single PP. So we go like that. So kind of C minor-ish. A7 sharp 9 isn't really C major. And also G over C really isn't C minor either. It actually isn't anything technically because it's just a G triad over C, so there's no minor triad and a G over C chord. But it always, to me, ends up sounding like a major 9 chord, very much. Like, it almost sounds like... It sounds like the... It sounds like that major third should be in there, but it's technically not. So it's, I guess, kind of still in a minor key. It's just like the dominant chord over its over C. Anyway, this chord I have no theoretical justification for. It's just a chord I like using a lot. It's just dominant 7th sharp 9 on the 6th degree in a minor key. I just like it. Yeah, I suppose you could analyze it as the 5 of the major third. It doesn't make any sense. It's this there. Or it's the sub 5 of flat. I don't know. It's the substitute. I don't know what it is. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Ooh, that's spicy. Let's listen to. There's something wrong in there. Oh, it's... There we go. That should sound a lot better. A lot better. That one person's watching. Okay, so this is going to be an E major 7 over C. One of the spicier chords I know. It sounds like this. It's a good old chord. It's a nice chord. It's yeah, it's a good chord. All right. So I want some sort of build into this. So I'm just going to have, I don't know, maybe building here, or maybe, oh, you know what I want? I want like some cymbal rolly things. So I'm going to write this notation for Josh, the drummer. And I'm just going to write with text, cymbal rolly things. Okay, should get the point across. Oh yeah, also this notation. There we go. That makes it sound. It's a notation for cymbal rolly things. All right. Okay, so this piano part, copy that over to the bass, copy that over to the guitar. And the piano is, I just want them playing, I don't want them playing anything else except just this like chime sort of thing in the right hand. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, it's gonna be tight, especially when you have like this metal thing happening. I'm gonna bring up Want to Want Me, Adam Neely. So it's going to be this section. I don't know what it's spazzing out for right now. Yeah, so that piano, I just want them playing that there, and then the horns are going to be playing that riff. Okay, so that I think it's just going to be guitar and bass and drums, because I just want, I'm conscious, very conscious of fatigue of the horns just being there. Let me talk better next time. I want it so that the horns aren't blaring the entire time, just most of the time. So for those two measures, there won't be any horns. Just make sure that it's a different live chat. No, it's the same live chat. Cool. All right. Link to YouTube Gaming. What? Getting used to the live stream on YouTube thing. All right. Schmack-a-shack, 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 schmack-a-shack. Okay, and then the final chorus is basically just a retread of the previous choruses. There's kind of like two sections to the chorus. Yeah. Copy paste. Nothing like copy paste. Copy paste makes the world go round. Okay. Outro / post chorus is going to be the same. Cool. So it's twice as long. Post chorus, outro groovy deal. Oh, I don't have anything written for bass and drums yet, so. All right, no, I do have something written right here. Groove. Okay, so that's guitar. And then here we go, post chorus. Copy paste. Yeah. So, how did I have to do this every time I want to listen to? Okay, let's see, Google Chrome. Anytime I want to listen to like anything I've ever done, it's actually just a lot easier Googling it than trying to find it on my hard drive. Want to Want Me, Adam Neely. How does this thing end? Yeah, all right, it just ends on smack at smat. Cool, I'm into it. Okay, and actually I want tenor 2 playing that line instead of tenor 1. And I'll change all the post choruses to tenor 2 playing that line instead of tenor 1 because the because of the wonderful things he does. No, because I want tenor 1 soloing. It's like what are the chords? C minor 7 or F minor 7. No, it's just C minor. Oh, I got the chords wrong. Nice. Got the chords wrong on like literally every post chorus. Okay, so let me just make sure I copied the chords correctly. All these chords, shit. Get rid of them. These chords, shit. Get rid of them. Okay, groove. Okay, so this is going to get copied and pasted onto these other post choruses. Where are they? Here we go. Post chorus here. Great. Save. I'm going to just bold lead. Bold. No. Bold. There we go. Lead. Nah, I don't need to bold that. He'll just figure out what I mean. Okay. Great. Fantastic. Looking good. Looking good. What else do I need to do here? Oh, yeah, I need to finish writing out the solo. Hey, nani na. Hey, nani no. Sibelius fail. There we go. All right, so back up, back. So we're gonna end the thing. Back up, back. Yeah, whatever. Smack up, smack, smack up, smack. Smack up, smack. Well, there we go. Senpai noticed me. How you doing? We got obvious musical shenanigans. Doing well. Got a lot of work I have to do over the next several weeks, and I'm trying to post content and create stuff while I do that extra work for other things that I'm trying to do. And it's a never-ending... It's never-ending. I can't complain too much, but it's just like you see how much stuff that needs to be done in a certain amount of time, and then you're just like, is that possible? Might be. There's only one way to find out, by doing it. Cool. I think I'm pretty much done with this arrangement in terms of like the detail work that needed to be done. I'm just going to add a few things just to make it... So this is, let's see, what is that arrangement? That's, so maybe, we can do a... Needs to be higher. Oh. Oh, yeah, I like that. I like that very much. Super high. Let's do the same voicing both hands, one just an octave higher. How do I do? How do I do 8VA? There we go. 8VA. What? What happened? So one of the fun things to do, one of the fun things that I like writing out is when 8VA means play an octave higher. So basically I want the pianist to play this, but that's kind of a pain in the ass to read. So you just write in 8VA and it's a lot easier to read. But the fun thing is like when you're done with the 8VA, there's a fun term that is used to describe how you get back to playing normal. And that term is this. Loco. So I don't know why. That means that you're playing normal again after playing 8VA, after playing up an octave. So loco. Loco, oh no. All right, so this section's now going to sound super awesome. So that is kind of like going to be playing with the China symbol. China. I'm actually going to program that into the drums just to... oh man, what is it? There's a plugin somewhere. I mean, I'm kind of relearning how to use Sibelius because I used to use it all the time, but okay, plugin. Also, I'm not super used to Sibelius 8 as much. Home plugins. Wait, are these the only plugins that we have? Okay. There's got to be more plugins than this. There's a plugin to make all of the notes like the same, which helps a lot, so I don't have to like change all these bass notes. Damn it. There's a plugin in Sibelius 6 that let you make all the note heads or all the notes the same, which was super convenient, but alas. Okay, so there's the kick pattern, and then China, the China pattern, China. Super metal. Metal the fuck out of that. Okay. So this section will now sound super awesome. Nice. Okay, well, sweet. So that's the drum part. It's kind of a pain in the ass to play. Let me tell you, this rhythm right here, like playing da-ga-da, that's easy. Da-ga-da, da-ga-da. But this rhythm right here is da-ga versus da-ga-da. And just in the middle of everything, it's just like, oh shit. This is like way harder to play than just playing da-ga-da, da-ga-da. So it's not so much that it's difficult, because it is difficult. It's just the rest of the rhythms are just easy. Oh, da-ga-da, 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 da-ga-da-ga, da-ga-da, da-ga-da. Like all of a, like it starts out easy and then it's hard. And when I had to learn how to play that, and it is not easy to play that rhythm. So when we're rehearsing it, we're going to play it like this. It's like da 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 ba 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 ga ba 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 ga ba ba ga da ba ga ga ba ga ga ba ga ga ba ba 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 ga ba. Yep. So that's what's gonna happen. Yeah. Cool. Cool. Are you finding Sibelius 8 has less tools available as a whole compared to 6? All the things are still there. They're just reorganized. They're just placed in different places. And so as somebody who is a creature of habit, when you place things in different places where they're not supposed to be, it's kind of a pain in the ass. But it can do basically everything else. In fact, not finding a plugin that I used to use is probably the first time I've ever seen something that Sibelius 6 can do that Sibelius 8 can't. I mean, there's a bunch of like advantages to Sibelius 8 for sure. Like magnetic layout's a lot better. I mean, there's all sorts of like little improvements that I just enjoy, and probably by this point, like I wouldn't even know what Sibelius 6 can't do that Sibelius 8 can. But yeah. So this seems pretty done. Seems pretty done. So once an arrangement's done, I'm just gonna add some more accents. I'm just gonna go through and just add stuff so they know what to do with guitar. Oh yeah, this actually I should probably work on this drum part a little bit more. So the drum part, what I'm gonna do, honestly, I'm gonna give Josh, the drummer, this version and just tell him to learn it. But it's still important to like actually have stuff that he's looking at on a page, just because it helps. So how am I gonna notate this? So what Sean plays at the top is some. So Sean kind of like plays a little ding. I kind of like how Sean plays that. So he's like he's playing like this five pattern in the kick, that kind of like that. Okay. It's kind of like a. So he's playing every 5th, 16th note. Because that's just the thing that you do when you're bored. You play every 5th, 16th note. It's also to prove how smart you are. And we're smart. So the next part, I'm going to just tell him to catch a lot of this stuff. Because, oh, no, I'm going to do it this way. So one thing that I do a lot for drum parts is I just give them the bass line. And knowing the drummer, I mean, it depends on who the drummer is. I know the drummer that I'm going to have on this gig, and he'll know what to do. So play around bass line. Light cross stick groove. No backbeat. Okay, so here's the question. How do I notate this? Not this section right here for the drums. I might just write out all the 16th note. That's 16th notes. 16th notes. 16th notes. I gotta shut the fuck up. So, and then I'm just gonna do accents when... Oh, I hate this. I don't have the right keyboard for this. It's a weird keyboard that doesn't let me have a... The thing is this almost starts looking like a classical, like, percussion etude when it's just a bunch of 16th notes and accents to those 16th notes. And that's like, drummers, like trained drummers love this sort of thing. They're like, oh, I get to show off my stuff. So then some big old hits here. That's how I show hits. Schmack, schmack, schmack. Cool. So actually, I'm going to turn the drums up a little bit, and it should sound sort of like this. It's a much slower tempo. The original way I wanted to play this arrangement was like here, and it ended up being just way too fast. Because at a certain point, it just... ceases to be musical. Don't let go. You know you want to, don't want me. It's just kind of like awkward. At a certain point, all those syncopations just are like, okay, cool, congratulations, you can play 16th notes. So at a slower tempo, you can kind of actually get into the groove of it, even though it's a little weird. So, yeah. Is that a plugin for the playback bar? No, this is just the metronome. You can slide it up and down if you want to. I'll just, if we want to, the Nightcore version. I'm sorry, guys. No, that the metronome slider has been part of the transport for forever. I mean, it's been in every episode, every version of Sibelius I've known. Yeah, it's very useful. I use it all the time to slow things down and speed things up because I slow things down all the time just to hear harmony. Just try to like get into the sound of different harmonies that I'm working on. Yeah, it's called the transport. Yeah, it's this guy. It's this bad boy. Yeah, okay. Okay, fine. Okay. All right. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna just... All right. Okay, so drums. Yeah, I try to make with these streams like it's somewhat a teachable moment. Cool. I think I'm pretty much done with this. Well, I need to write dynamics. Do I need to write dynamics? I do need to write dynamics. Dynamics are kind of for lamers, but I understand the need for dynamics. Just like trying to do all the detail work, all the like little things that make the difference in terms of psychologically how a band will read it down, like accents and things that, the more I can do now versus in the rehearsal, the better. My goal for today is to actually have everything more or less written out for this arrangement. Which is getting there. I mean, it's like there's a lot of work that goes into making it ready for people to read it. Is a notated cymbal hit with a specified duration that isn't trilled actually meaningful? As a drummer, I can't imagine caring. I just look for choke this or roll this. No. The reason why I have things written like this is because I just have written the bass line out. So of course, like a tie makes no sense whatsoever. It doesn't really make any sense for any drummer. Like I don't know a whole lot about, to be 100% honest, I'm not like the best drum set notator. But yeah, it really isn't meaningful. Like a notated cymbal hit with a specified duration. It's just visually what looks best. I mean, most of the time quarter notes look best. Like that looks the best. I would never do this. Oh, maybe I would do that. I'm just used to this because it means a little bit more. I don't know. Yeah. Good question though. It definitely is not meaningful. Yeah, I just kind of have the conventions that I use for drum set. I don't do professional engraving or anything like that. So if I did do that, I would probably try and actually get a lot better at it. I just write drum parts that I know that that the musicians I am hiring know what the hell to do. All right, so now is the fun part. And by fun, I mean incredibly tedious and a pain in the ass, but it ends up yielding the best results. I'm going to prepare the parts. Preparing parts is one of the most important things you can do with an arrangement. You need to make sure that the music looks good. So, for example, this music does not look good. This music looks very bad. I would never send this to anybody who actually I cared about. Well, I might send it to musicians I don't care about. But first, I'm going to... So most of the time, I do all my composing in panorama view, which is just like this. And then I go into regular view to see how the score is actually going to be printed. And it looks like shit right now because I haven't been working with it. So I'm going to... let's see. I'm going to add a title. So this is going to be Want Me. Ooh, let's choose fonts. I like choosing fonts. So let's choose a font for this. What's a fun font? I don't know. Oh, I like lemon milk. No, I don't like that much. What's a more fun one? Let's do a fun Comic Sans. Actually, that'd be really funny. Just do all the fonts in Papyrus. Yeah, Maybe not that big. Maybe. No. Okay, that's better. Let's see, font style, format, main text font, Beirut. What does that look like? Main text font. Do Futura. I'm into Futura. Yeah, that looks kind of nice. Kind of looks like I know what I'm doing. And then I really shouldn't be spending any time on this, but main music font. I do like Helsinki. Helsinki is a nice one. For some reason, I like Helsinki. And okay, this is such a waste of time. No. Oil rig? What's that? Ooh. Moonflower. Oh yeah. What's that one? No, I don't like that one. Let's just do. I'll do the one that I use for most of my. No, that looks stupid in this context. The one I use for most of my like thumbnails and a lot of my text is this one, Hiragana Kaku Gothic. Let's do Future. Yeah. Italic. Bold. All right, whatever. That looks kind of stupid, but we're going to go with that. This is why I'm not a professional engraver. I just like, that looks okay. Sure. Text. Composer is my man Jason Darulo? Whatever. Arranged. Adam Neely. Neil High. Neely. Jason Derulo, arranged Adam Neely. Plus, I'm sure a lot of other people. No, it's funny. It's a joke, but okay. Alto saxophone. Yeah, I hate. Okay, chill out, man. Just chill out. Okay, so let's get to work. So, couple general rules of thumb. 4, if it can be helped. 4 measures per line is usually good. I just thought of one thing. In the beginning, I want everybody to do this huge fill and then off on 3. And there's this tradition in jazz music and for jazz musicians, when you really need to be off on 3, there's this sign that you technically don't need to write this. Any real musician would know not to play on 3, but this is just like a it's a tradition. It's a tradition to help stupid jazz kids out, and you know, they need all the help they can get. I'm just gonna copy and paste this because it's the same music in the beginning, essentially. Cool. Off on 3. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. Save. What am I doing? I am right. Working on the alto sax part. Okay. So off on 3. So I don't need that verse. Yeah, I don't need that either. It's part of the same verse. So a couple things that we're going to do. Alto sax isn't playing for these 8 measures and these 8 measures. So because there are 8 measures, and also I'm going to change one more thing. Appearance, engraving rules, bar numbers, hide at rehearsal marks. Okay, great. So that's hidden view. Let's get rid of hidden objects. Cool. So a couple things also. When I'm moving this stuff around, this is called... Normally you had to create new files, and extracting parts was such a pain in the ass, but dynamic parts is one of the coolest things ever. I like how it's set it up here. I mean, technically speaking, this is 3 and 5, but I think this is going to look a little bit more cluttered with the 16th notes. So I like the 3 and then 5 because there's just 2 notes right here that alto sax is playing. I'm going to do 2 tenutos like that. Like that. Yeah. Look at that. So in the chorus is going to be... Actually, I don't want full on forte. I want a healthy mezzo forte, because they're going to be... Danny's going to be singing behind all this, and full on forte is going to be a little much. Okay. Cool. All right, this all looks pretty decent so far. That looks a little spacey. One of the things that a lot of people try and do is they like to try and cram everything in on 2 pages so there doesn't have to be any page turns. Page turns are okay as long as you know how to lay it out. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to put this on... hold on, one thing. I'm going to put this on... Add a rehearsal mark there. 3 pages, because I want to make sure that this verse 2 section is like together. I want to make sure that these 1, 2, 3, 4, bump, bump, like that. And yeah, so I'm going to make it so that all of this right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, I'm going to add a page break so that what happens when you're reading this piece of this music is I'm going to tape it so that you see these first 2 pages, and then you come to the end of the system here, and then on these 8 bars right here, that gives the alto sax player time to switch his page. And this, you would think that that detail is like, you know, like kind of minor or whatever, but that is one of the most important details, knowing when to switch the page. And sometimes it's difficult to know exactly when. Fortunately here, it's quite easy. You get these 8 bars here. It's like, oh, that's plenty of time to switch the page. So thinking about those practical details about exactly how a person is supposed to physically like do what they need to do while you're playing the music is actually pretty important. It's one of the more important parts actually of laying out music, and kind of separates the wheat from the chaff. Okay. Somebody asked, ever tried messing with other notation systems for funsies, or do you feel standard staff notations ubiquity makes it hard to experiment? Any tickle your fancy? I mean, the stuff that I'm doing right here, utterly impossible to do in any other system, because, I mean, I guess you technically could, but there's about 1,000 years of practice that's going into what I'm doing right now in terms of laying stuff out, in terms of engraving, knowing the psychology behind what... In other words, because of the common practice, because of the 1,000 years of practice, I have a pretty good idea of how alto sax player is going to interpret this look and whatever. But the psychology of like reading off of a piano roll is not particularly well known, and it's just not done. And I cannot imagine for any sort of professional situation like the situation that I'm doing this for, because I'm paying all my musicians money, and I want to make sure that they get the parts down like that immediately. I want to make sure that they know what to do when. And if I try and experiment with other notation systems, if there's no clear reason to do so, that's just money that I'm losing and ill will from people. I'm trying to make it something super, super clear. And there's just no need. There's no need for another notation system for what we're doing right now. If there was a need, yeah, we would experiment with that. And so when you're working with like digital audio workstations, there's a need for another form of notation software. There's like the piano roll in a digital audio workstation is pretty much the better way of working for typing in MIDI and working with MIDI. But that's for inputting information. That's not for reading information. Reading information is very different. Trying to take what you're seeing and reinterpret it on your instrument, that's very different than inputting information into a digital audio workstation. So there's 2 different notational systems for 2 different purposes. So I cannot imagine using anything else for what I'm doing right now. That would just be stupid. I don't mean to say your question's stupid, because that's a very good question. But I can very definitively say that I would not do that for this. It is a good question. I definitely didn't mean to imply that the question was stupid. All right, so I'm just sort of like trying to make it look nice, trying to make it look professional. I'm just dragging the stuff up. The reason why these things are turning orange is anytime I move something from the score, where it is in the score, it turns orange, but when you actually print the part out, it's not going to be orange. Okay, this looks all right. One thing that you also might notice is that, say here, oh, this is like an E right here. But when I go here, this is a G. It's like, what? E? G? Well, it's because the part is transposing, but on the score, I written out in concert. So that means that the alto sax player is thinking E and thinking A, but they're actually, what's coming out is G and C, because alto sax is a transposing instrument. Same thing with a tenor sax. This is a B flat here. It's a C here when you're actually reading it on the score. Bari sax, is a C here. This is all verkackt. Where is it? I forget where I was. Anyway, that's an F, and that is a D, because Bari sax reads treble clef. And the reason why all the sax players read this treble clef and why it all transposes to different depending on the saxophone is they're all fingered the same. So Bari sax, that D, when you're playing a Bari sax, is fingered the exact same way as like a D is on a tenor sax. So that's an A. So that's that D right there. I'm just changing this right now for the sake of changing it. This D right here, even though it sounds different than this, so that's a D on a Bari sax, and that's a D on a tenor. They're played exactly the same. There's no difference with how they're played on the instrument, and that basically means that any sax player can just pick up any saxophone and know how to play it, because it's been transposed to different registers, because, you know, a tenor saxophone is higher than a baritone saxophone, and like an alto saxophone is higher than a tenor saxophone. So what it means is that a saxophone player is a saxophone player. You just pick up a saxophone and it doesn't matter which one. So you have four pretty much different instruments, fairly different instruments that are played the same, which is very, very useful for everybody involved. For sax players, because they can play a bunch of different kinds of sax, and for arrangers, because it's less practical for arrangers. But anyway, so let me go back to alto. So this alto part, to me, is looking pretty decent. I'm not sold on this font, but this font's fine. They'll get over it. All right, so this part looks pretty decent. I'm not mad about it. So one thing, I have it all laid out, kind of how I want. One thing that I'm going to do now, let's see if I remember how to do this in Sibelius, whatever. One thing I do all the time is copy part layout. There we go. Parts layout. Copy part layout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this alto part and I'm going to copy it to tenor saxophone 1. So what that does is that a lot of the same formatting things that I was doing here are just going to get copied right to this part. So it makes it a lot easier. For example, this whole thing, I'm going to undo that. So you can kind of see it change again. Edit, redo. So a lot of the same like things were just snapped into place, which is really convenient. And this only works because most of the time in this arrangement, the alto sax and tenor saxophone 1 are playing the same sort of thing. Just see how many people are. 12 people are watching. 12 people. Category gaming. I wonder not. If I only did that. Yeah. All right. So fun. Okay, so let's do tenor saxophone 1, tenor sax 2, tenor sax 1 and 2. yeah, so okay, this looks okay. I'm gonna do the same sort of thing here. Oh yeah, I forgot to, yeah. It's a little cramped, but I think that's for the better. I wonder if this looks better. Yeah, that actually kind of looks a little bit better. No, I don't like that. There's really no easy way of writing this rhythm. That does look better. I'm gonna do it that way. It just looks a little bit more spaced out. So I'm gonna change how the alto sax part is read too. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so that's... Then I can go like this. Part of it is psychology. Even if it's not making it easier, you want to trick them to think that it's easier. So this looks easier. It's just not. Not at all. But it looks easier. Yeah. And you also kind of want to make sure that the way it's laid out here is similar to how it's laid out here. Well, here it's slightly different, so there's no reason to change this, though. All right, well, that part looks a little bit better anyway. So we're going to copy, we're going to do that again. We're going to copy part layout from alto sax to tenor saxophone 1. Yes. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Bridge. Oh, what are you doing over here? What are you doing? Oh, okay. So we're gonna have to change something in the bridge because in that alto sax part, the post chorus was when we would switch. Oh, and I also need to make sure to say, hold on, just do this real quick. Solo. Okay, just add a couple ones just to make sure that he knows that I mean business. Oh, some of these are a little awkward. What is this happening here? Yeah, it's a little strange. Okay, so we need to figure out a better way of making this look not stupid. Okay, well, post-chorus, that's 4 is fine. Oh God, why are you forsaking me? Okay. I might do this. Yeah. That should look okay once I clean it up a little bit. Once I clean it up just a little bit. Have you written much that uses a phrase length that isn't a multiple of 4? I've messed with it in the past and can render the music almost incomprehensible. Yeah, done that plenty of times. It's just, no, it's completely comprehensible. You just have to make sure that the music looks okay. And it also has to make sure that it makes musical sense. The easiest way I know of having it make musical sense is something called an elided phrase, E-L-I-D-E-D, elided. Elided phrases basically mean when you have the end of one phrase be the beginning of the next phrase. And it's I can't think of any examples right now, but if you look up elision, E-L-I-S-I-O-N, elision, or elided phrase. You can see what I mean. I can't show you any examples just right now, and maybe in the future I'll come up with something. But elided phrases are when you can have yeah, exactly, dovetailing as the less pretentious way of calling it, but dovetailing is I've heard it called also. Yeah, this is okay. These key signatures make me cry. Why do you look like that? How do you not look like that? How do you look better? What the hell, man? Why are you look better than that? Look not stupid. Well, first of all, it's 6 sharps, which is kind of stupid, but what am I doing? It's C sharp minor. There we go. Was that so hard? That no, it doesn't look stupid. Does it look stupid on the alto part? No, okay, good. Okay. There are a ton of pieces of music with elided phrases. I used to do that all the time, and I still do that for certain things. For pop music, it can get a little too cute if you do it too much. And the reason why I do it is because I'm always anxious to get on to the next thing. So when you do an elided phrase, it's kind of like you're cutting off the end because you want to get to the next section sooner. I need to learn to not do that all the time. I do that. I used to do that like everything. My Exigence, the big band piece that I did and worked on, has pretty much every phrase is elided. It's about 30 minutes of just nothing but elided phrases. Okay, this is looking okay. Okay, I don't see anything terrible. I might just make this bigger just to... You beautiful, sexy man. It's another fun thing I like doing. It's when I know my players. Of course, I might want to make this gender neutral if I ever want to publish it, but I do know that the first tenor sax player, surprise, surprise, is male. Because there are not that many female players that I know. I mean, I do know a fair number, but yeah, maybe I should have hired more. Damn. Maybe I should put my money where my mouth is and actually hire women. That would probably be a better idea. Maybe I should actually do that, although everybody's been contracted already. Fuck. Oh, well. That sucks. Okay, tenor sax part. Beast is a good... Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'll just do Beast. Good call. I should do that. All right. We are now going to go to tenor sax 2. Yes, it takes a long time, all of this. I totally know. Actually, let me just double check to make sure that tenor sax 1 was all right. Tenor sax 1. Tenor sax 1. Chorus. Post-chorus. Okay. Okay, we're good. Tenor sax 2. Guys, this is probably one of the more boring things that I possibly could be doing. And there's no creative anything in any of this. This is just like pure craft. Preparing parts. Just trying to get the music looking good. And it's also trying to make it entertaining. I'm sure I could be working faster maybe if I... Copy part layout. Okay, I'm just going to do that. Copy part layout and copy part layout all there. Okay. Working fast, copy part layout, tenor sax 2, boop, Oh, I don't have tempo. I don't have. Just gonna do a couple things I forgot to do. Up a perfect fifth. Cool. Great. Beautiful. Let's do mezzo forte. Mezzo forte. Meh. That's what this is. Meh. 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 Speaking of page turns, when you're contracting musicians at this level, how much memorization versus sight reading are you expecting? I mean, honestly, it's gonna. I don't know yet. I'm like really debating on whether or not to call a second rehearsal, because most times you don't have two rehearsals. You have the rehearsal for the gig, and then that's it. So we have like 8 tunes of this level of complexity. Nobody's gonna be memorized. That's not gonna happen. I'm going to be memorized because I've been working on this, but nobody's going to be memorized, and I would never expect anybody to be memorized on this material without constant rehearsals of the same stuff over and over and over again. It's just not possible. I've been agonizing about calling a second rehearsal because I want to record this gig, and it's hard. This music is very hard. A lot of it's going to be sight reading, but you know. Another side question: would you ever conduct off a C score? I like reading for conducting. It's a pain in the ass sometimes. I'm not going to be conducting. I'm going to be playing bass. There's not really going to be a conductor, so I use C scores for basically everything. And if I need to like say notes, I can transpose in my head. By this point, I can do it decently enough. Not amazingly, decently. Cool. Just got word that I'm going to Norway. That's going to be fun. So if any Norwegians are there, I'm coming for your country. Oh, come on. Stupid. Ugh. Oh. Why? Just make it not. Ugh. Stop colliding. I hate that. I'm giving a talk at a school somewhere in Norway, and I'm very excited for that. I just got word that everything's confirmed, so that's cool. I've been doing more like live talking. I'm going to hopefully see what I can do about doing like talking tours, which is interesting. I'm not much of a talker, even though I've been talking this whole time. No, I haven't done it all that much, but I did one. I'm trying to do it more because I think it's really fun. And I think people dig it. There we go. Now that doesn't look stupid. No, well, now it looks stupid for another reason. Come on. Well, it's not the end of the world. You should come hear us in Qatar. It's only prohibitively expensive to travel. Yeah, that would be amazing. I do have actually Sean Crowder. He was touring and he passed through Qatar at one point. He tours with this. The reason why Sungazer isn't really a thing is because he's touring with this Tunisian singer like all the time, and he makes tons of money doing that. Let's see. Just trying to make this look halfway presentable. All right. Spartan name. Yeah, that looks okay, I guess. I suppose. Let's do Barry Sachs. Looks terrible. Let's make that look not terrible. Have you tried to make it look not terrible? Tried. Um, uh, Dusty Seven. What was your question, man? No way, that's so cool. Who's the Tunisian singer in question? Amel Malthouthi. He's been touring with her for a couple years. Amel Malthouthi. Back up to Jake. Oh, slashes only get me so far. Oh, tips for minimizing page turns for drum set parts. That's a hard one. I'll let you know when I get to the drum part. In fact, let's do the drum part. Let's do the drum part. Well, I mean, have the drums not play. So I'd probably do the page turn right here. Yeah, you just have to be kind of creative about it. Anytime that the drums are not super busy, where I feel like with drums, drummers can handle page turns a little bit better than other instruments because you can still be playing a backbeat and things with one hand. It's not ideal, of course, but most of music isn't ideal. It's about getting through the gig. So I think most for drum parts, I think that's not as big of a deal. Minimizing page turns. I don't think you should ever think about minimizing page turns. I think you should just be thinking about having smart page turns. Because when you try, it's almost kind of a rookie move to be thinking too much about, like when you're laying stuff out in the part, to be worrying too much about not having page turns, because then you end up just like cramming so much information on the page and it just looks confusing. You want the page to look not that complicated. Honestly, like for me, this music doesn't look that complicated. Just visually, it is complicated, but just when you're approaching this, like an alto sax player would be like, oh, okay, well, there's some like six like, I don't know, syncopation things that might be kind of tricky, but, you know, it looks pretty standard or whatever, even though it definitely isn't. So you want to have that psychological thing versus this, which looks a heck of a lot more complicated because of how much more is crammed in there. Yes, technically, you could probably cram everything on 2 pages, but that's not really what you want, so that's not what I'm going for. Page turns are not that big of a deal if you lay them out correctly, if you lay them out well, and people will appreciate the thought that goes into it a little bit more than. Oh, actually, speaking of thought that goes into it, I forgot to put thought into this one. Yeah, let's put thought into it. There we go. That is better. This last page does look a little bit cramped, but it's not the end of the world. Why would you consider the music hard in this case? The harmony locking in? To have 13 people play these rhythms, I don't think anybody, until you've tried this, I don't think you guys really understand. Having 13 people play that lockstep with staccato tight rhythms is going to be a challenge. It's going to be they're amazing musicians. It's just something that's a challenge, especially when you have horn players. Now, I mean, when you have 2 people locking in, yeah, easy, fine, great. Because even if somebody is like slightly off, it's not going to really ruin the flow of everything. If you have 2 people slightly off from 13 people, it's going to ruin the flow of it quite dramatically. So that's why it's hard. And it's also, the rhythms are hard. This is a hard thing to lock into. It's not very, you can't just intuit. You can't just feel it very easily. I can feel it by this point, again, just because I've been doing this song and working on the song for a long ass time. The harmony is just hard, I guess, from an intonation standpoint, but harmony is not something, honestly, when it comes down to it, rhythms are the hard thing to play. Like, if you think about it, harmony might be difficult to listen to, but rhythms are the things that are difficult, that make a piece of music difficult. Honestly, that's really it. It's rhythms. Rhythms and fast passages. I don't really have any fast, like, none of that stuff. That's not really my thing, is to do, like, fast unisons. I don't really, well, sort of. I take that back. There's this one passage right here that I'm going to have to play with Shub Saran. That's going to be tricky. Ever look at a score for a piece you had to play and went, oh, Jesus, no, why? Yeah, I have. And then I learned it, and then it was fine. But, you know, when I did the apartment sessions with Gabriel Kahane, that was definitely that moment. Also, I recently did an apartment session, so that's not out recently yet. But one for Shub Saran that did, oh my God, it was intense. It didn't look intense, but I knew it was intense because it was really fast. It was like groupings of 5 and 3/8 notes over the bar line at like 200 beats per minute. It was really intense. And then you had like 30 people playing the same rhythm. That's when it's hard. It's when you have so many people playing the same complicated rhythm. It's just difficult to get together. Oh, the 11 thing, that was 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2. Yeah, that was very hard. That was not easy. Again, to have like 55 people playing that. I had to shed the fuck out of it. That was hard. All right, so back to trying to pretend that I know what I'm doing. Oh, okay. Again, this is the slow, labor-intensive part, but you guys are with me and entertaining me, so this is fun. This is a lot more fun than it normally is. Normally it's just me like... Okay. Okay, that looks all right. Looks okay. Looks okay-ish. Let's put this on the same page. This looks a little. Okay, let's get rid of landmarks. This looks a little strange. By the way, I changed this G sharp to an A flat just because I think it looks a little bit nicer. C B flat, A flat. Like in the score, it's going to be a B natural. I guess C flat's not the end of the world. Well, it is the end of the world. I don't like it. I don't like it. B natural. Oh. I like it when the MIDI note gets stuck. Okay, all this looks all right. Let's do a page break. Bridge. Okay, bridge looks good. Post chorus. Just make sure that the post chorus looks okay. Just, dragging things out, making it look a little bit nicer, maybe. I don't know. Just stuff I do. Okay. Side note of 11/8, we played a piece called Sevens, where the opening was 11/16 plus 7/16. Yeah, depends on how fast it is, but that's that would keep me up at night until I learned how to play it. That'd be kind of tricky. Yeah, 11 plus 7. Which is 18, which is 9, which is basically 3. It's basically 3/4. It's just 3/4, man. It isn't just 3/4. It's a lot trickier than 3/4. Okay, smack. Cool. All right. Barry sax part looks serviceable. I like to have, by the way, I like to have all these like outro, post chorus, and all that good stuff, just because it just helps like with the rehearsal process. I can say like, hey, can we go to the second part or chorus part 276? All right, 1, 2, or whatever. It's just easy to keep your place. If I didn't have all this and all these rehearsal marks, it would just be a lot more of it would just be time wasted in rehearsal, and time in rehearsal is a premium. Okay, trumpet. Just right out the gate. Super loud. Okay, what am I gonna do? I'm going to play setup. What am I gonna do? What am I doing? What is life? Oh, coffee. I haven't drank a sip of coffee in about an hour. No wonder I can't focus. Copy part layout. That's a saxophone. Trombone. Yep. Okay. Smack-a-sma. 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 Samuel R. Hazo. Cool. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with me. Appreciate the company. Oh. There we go. God, why have you forsaken me? Okay, good. Okay. No, I don't like how that looks. A lot of it is pretty subjective on just how you like it, on how you like how it looks. How many people are? How many people are hanging out? 16. Wow, I have an audience. I like live streams where it's not my entire channel like clamoring. That is less fun. Oh my god, he's live streaming. Oh my god. I mean, it's fun, it's cool, but I can't like interact or do anything. Chorus part 2. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna do this guy, that guy. Ooh, looks so much nicer. True. I don't feel guilty, but I feel like for patrons, I always want to make sure that they get their money's worth. It's also, there's this idea, I guess, in business, or like not small business, but like creative business, is like you need to find your 1,000 true fans. And once you get your 1,000 true fans, then you can make a living doing music. And I have almost 1,000 patrons now, most contributing smaller amounts of money. And actually, I enjoy the fact that people contribute, that it's like there's no like barrier of entry. Like I purposely make the reward tiers low, at least in this scheme of Patreon, because I just want to make sure that, one, I can fulfill everything, but two, like, you know, I just make videos on music. I don't do anything too crazy, and I can't like really, I don't have the means to like give crazy things like all the time. So instead, I have live streams that I can hang out with people. And other things. And various bonus content. This trumpet part looks all right. Hey, guess. Yeah. Why not? Are you concerned about getting sued because you're arranging a pop song? Nope. Because YouTube, by the way, has blanket licenses for all the major labels. So I don't. I'm not going to get sued. Nobody ever gets sued on YouTube platforms anymore because of the blanket licenses. The worst that can happen is I get demonetized for this video, which is okay because this video is not monetized. So, yeah, that is the absolute legal worst, and it's not going to ever happen, but that is the legal worst that can happen. Okay, so let's now do the trombone, which is a much maligned instrument, and I understand why. It's not a great instrument to hear. I don't like the sound of jazz solo trombone. I love the sound of a trombone section. A trombone section is like one of the coolest sounds ever. It's just like, ugh, like hits you in your chest. It's great. So I have a fondness for trombone in the sense that, like bass guitar, it's a fairly limited instrument. But when you write for it and where it succeeds the best, it sounds great. So I don't like the sound of trombone with fast-moving lines. I like the sound of trombone kind of here, like short staccato or like long whole notes. Just a really nice, warm sound. Late to the game here. Sorry, I need some context. Is this piece over a fairly standard sort of drum groove? So what we're working with right now is we're working over... basically, I'm writing this piece my arrangement that I did. I'm doing that, but for like a big horn band, and like big horn band meaning like 7 horns plus piano, bass, and drums. Basically, I'm trying to like take all the arrangement that I did from this Want to Want Me arrangement and put it into the context of a much larger ensemble. And so what we're doing right now, we're kind of putting the finishing touches on it, but we're kind of just going through all of the music and we're making the music look nice so that the musicians, when they get it, they're able to read it it's very difficult to read, so I'm trying to make it less difficult on them. Have you ever done any arranging for a pops orchestra? No. Maybe? No, I don't think so. I've gotten offered that gig before, but I wasn't able to do it. And I also really don't like arranging things unless it's the right opportunity for other people. That's just one of the things that I just don't like doing, which is strange. I will play bass for other people all day, but when it comes to like doing arrangements like what I'm doing right now, I like doing it my way or no way. It's just something I know about myself. But, maybe I get to the point where people like it my way versus other ways. I'm not quite there yet. People don't know me as an arranger. People definitely don't know me as like a jazz arranger, even though that's like what my training is in. I know a lot about jazz arranging. I'm eminently qualified to be a jazz arranger. Nothing else in life. But that is my technical qualifications. I have the paper to prove that I can arrange jazz real good. Super useful information, I know. And actually not just any jazz, big band jazz. Style of music even more popular. Hit Spotify right now, you're going to find big band jazz. And let's see. By the way, yes, I hate Spotify, but I use it all the time because as a consumer, it's great. As a musician, it's terrible. But this is actually what I use it most for, is just seeing the global top 50. And yeah, notice all these big band songs. All of them big band. Who could forget this classic big band tune? Or this one, which actually has horns in it. Fun fact, the horn player, the trumpet player, Enrique, from the Clarity video that I released, played with Camila Cabello live on New Year's Eve. He was one of the trumpet players. Fun fact. Bet you didn't know that. Now you do. Other fun fact, Matt Owens, trumpet player that was going to be on this gig, played with Andy Grammer. I know a lot of people who are like one step removed from all these pop acts. I mean, there's actually a bunch of people I know like that, but It's just the New York scene, man. A bunch of people who like, oh, you know him, he played with this, and you know him, and he played with this, and you know him, and he played with this. And the best part about it is nobody really cares. I mean, they're like, oh, that's cool, good for him. And then, you know, your status doesn't improve. Your status only improves if you're a really good player or not. Versus LA, where it's like, oh, you were on this? Oh, let me suck up to you. I was about to say something else. What instrument do you have the most fun arranging? I have the most fun arranging for strings. I love arranging for strings. The problem with strings is in live situations, you need kind of an orchestra in order for them to actually be heard over the sound of a rhythm section. A string, because an amplified string quartet sounds like poop. And yeah, just you really need a full orchestra to get the effect of a string section. Really like strings. Insert viola joke. Yeah, viola is definitely the redheaded stepchild. Kind of like the trombone. The viola is really the trombone of the string quartet. When it's good, it's great. When it's bad, it's terrible. So that's what we're working with. Viola and trombone are very similar. Okay, we're good. I think this trombone part is pretty decent now. Oh, except this is garbage. What is this? What is this nonsense? It's even worse. All right, whatever. I don't care. I don't care. There we go. Better. I keep forgetting to make this page break. I keep talking to you guys. Stop. Stop. What's the word? Stop distracting me. Okay, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Okay, guitar. Time to arrange for guitar. Lol. Just imagine I gave him this, which I've gotten this sort of thing before. Yeah, if you're a professional, do not ever give your person something like this. This is dog poop. This is not good. Do not do this. Wow, this looks really complicated. This looks very complicated. Let's make... Is this... I mean, that's what it is. I'm going to say scratchy. Sempre staccato. Which means always staccato. Bop, 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 bop. So that way I can make rhythms that look a little bit nicer to read. While at the same time, you know, the thing that people care most about is the attacks of things. So, this versus anything else. There we go. That looks a little bit nicer to read. Siempre staccato. No. Oh, that was a fun note. What was that? Oh, that was a G quarter sharp. Clearly. You made mention in one of your NAMM videos about how the music industry hasn't embraced or at least incorporated some of the latest technologies, machine learning, etc. What do you think could exist? That's the problem, though, right? Everybody's asking, like, for my ideas on what could exist. I mean, there's a bunch of ideas that I would want, but the problem is like, whether or not there's the demand for it. Like, I would love the ability to have, like, a truly microtonal instrument that I could program and make it very easy. And they're actually working on this. It's called polyphonic MIDI expression or something. There's something that they're adding to the MIDI protocol to make it easier to do like microtonal music and just intonation and things like that. That would be something that'd be great. There's just not that much of a demand for it. I mean, any detail work that people can do to instruments to do a better modeling of the physical nature of like an instrument and then modeling that in MIDI and modeling that in a digital environment. In other words, taking the sounds that somebody is playing and actually then creating a much more detailed understanding of what that is in MIDI so that you can get very, very accurate information about what somebody's playing and then convert that into MIDI. And once you've converted it to MIDI, you can do anything with it. That would be fantastic. Of course, would require a lot of computing power. I don't know. I don't have anything really. I just have like a wish list of things like that would be cool. I'm not gonna. I know a lot of it's kind of like pie in the sky because it's not really like the idea. It's just the amount of time and computing power and technology that we have, and it's like just not there. I know some people are using the cloud to orchestrate things. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Like outsourcing stuff? Mals and user interfaces. I'm not really quite sure what that is. Oh, okay. Yeah. Machine learning algorithms. Oh, have you guys, the whole deep fake thing with like Nicolas Cage and all that stuff? That's freaking scary. That'd be cool if something like that could happen with music. That'd be fantastic. I don't know what it would be though. That's the insane thing. Maybe listening to the sound of an instrument and trying to replace that sound of an instrument with a different instrument in a recording. That'd be cool. I don't know what the utility of that would be, but that would certainly be cool. Put a lot of people out of business. This page turn is gonna be not fun. It's not gonna be a fun page turn. Let me tell you, this page turn is not going to be fun. I think this has to be the page turn right here, but the problem is this page looks cluttered AF. Let's see if I can't cram that on that. Looks even more cluttered. Well, there's just not going to be any way around it. Shib's just going to have to read a fairly cluttered part. Oh, no, actually, we're going to do that. Nope, not that. Yeah, this part's going to be a little cluttered. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Well, yeah, I mean, machine learning has already, from what I remember, has already been used in, it's already being used in like procedurally generated music for video games, honestly, because you can just say like, oh, I want to generate like happy music for the Village music. And then you can do that pretty convincingly, given enough learning information. Okay. Yeah, that's very true. Counterpoint is basically like math. I mean, it's actually it's a very simple. I mean, it's complicated for us musicians, but in the grand scheme of things, it's incredibly simple for computers to learn the ideas of counterpoint. You know, you don't have to program them. You can just like extrapolate rules of counterpoint from MIDI data. That's definitely true. Programming like sounds from a full orchestra would be way trickier. Yeah. So let's do a forte F for fucker. What does it mean to write something that has meaning? I've heard plenty of computer-generated music that has no meaning. That is a good question, and it's a difficult one to answer. And it's going to actually have more and more practical application and all these philosophical ideas. I don't know. It's the ineffable meaning of something. I've heard a lot of non-machine generated music that doesn't have any meaning to me. That's just like background noise. So I don't think that's a trait unique to like algorithmically designed music. I think it's it's hard to even say. Like specifically, I might have to think about that a little bit more. It's hard to specifically say this is what meaning is. I mean, there's ideas behind one of the basic ideas of how musical meaning is conceived and conveyed is setting up expectations and then subverting them. That's like a kind of an idea in aesthetics and art is you set up an expectation of a resolution or a sound and then you subvert it somehow, subtly or non-subtly, and then that creates interest. So one way of doing that is just like playing a section, playing it again, and then going to a different section because you've already heard that same section twice. So you've set up the expectation of that section of music, and then you go to a new section, and that creates new meaning because you're just going to a different section of different piece of music. And that second section has a meaning because it's says like, oh, we're in a different place now, so you have to pay attention to what this music is in relation to the music that you just heard, and that juxtaposition of the two creates the meaning, I guess. So, yeah. I was asking Dusty C7. Sorry, guys, I can't start. The chat is starting to get like real questions happening, and I'm like, oh god, can't keep up. Sorry about that. Well, I like meaning. I like these questions anyway, so I'm going to answer it regardless of who it was designed for. So, yeah. It's a good question. It's a good question. Even though it's hard to answer. Okay, guitar part is almost done, guys. We've almost done it. We've almost did it. We've almost done it. I'm going to do it this way. So I'm going to write on the bottom trying to find the rest symbol. Just to tell people that they tell Shub that he has a rest coming up, so he doesn't need to worry about anything. Is there a rest symbol? Rests. There we go. That's okay. is such an unnecessary detail, but I'm doing it anyway. Just letting him know there's 8 bars of rest. So he can chill out. There's got to be a better way of doing this, but this is how I know how to do it. It's so time intensive just to draw this stupid little thing. There's like an arrow. I want like just a plain. It's like arrows. Arrow. Arrow up. Or just arrow to the side. This is riveting entertainment, I know, guys. There we go. Arrow to the right. Boom. There we go. We did it. Layout marks. Fantastic. Proud of that little guy. Okay. Why am I getting so tired? No coffee. Just double check, see how many people. 14. 14 whole people. Okay. Great. Piano. Okay, this piano part looks terrible. Let's make it look not terrible. Yeah. So what I'm doing, I'm going to make this, trying to make this look a little bit nicer to read, just visually. Same rhythms, but just siempre staccato. Up. How long have you been transmitting? A couple hours, maybe? Just finishing up. I haven't done any actual arranging, by the way, in all these hours. I've been just like cleaning up the score so it looks all nice and professional, which is a big, important part of the job. Making sure the score looks nice. Music isn't necessary. That's the beauty of it. The same way that language isn't necessary. Think about that. Technically, it's not. Music is just as vital as language. And if you don't believe me, find me any wedding that has ever happened without music. Okay, let's see. So one thing that I do with piano sheet music is I do what's called optimization. So optimization is when you, well, not like even live music, just music in general. I can't even imagine the idea of not having music at a party or some version of a wedding without any music. To me, that just doesn't sound like something that happens. Even from a playlist. Do you teach classes privately? No, I do not. I might in the future, but right now I just don't. Patreon people will be the first to know for sure. What am I looking for? Optimization. No, not optimize. Hide empty staves. There we go. So now there's less staves to worry about. Actually, I'm not sure if I want that organization. I would love to be on Masterclass, but it might be a while. I'm going to aim to get a TED Talk before Masterclass. Getting a TED Talk, I feel like, would be doable by this point in my career. I've seen some pretty not great TED Talks, so I'm sure I can do a not great TED Talk. I have that ability. Now, this looks terrible. This looks very hard. How do I make this look not hard? How do I make this look easy-ish? Even if it's not easy. Yeah, believe it or not. So if music looks easy, will people have a better time playing it? Yes. Most of putting music on a page is actually this very subtle psychology game. And I found that if music looks nicer on the page, people play it better, no matter how complicated or easy it is. You can make something look really easy look really complicated, and you can make something really complicated look moderately easy. And most of music preparation is just this very delicate psychological dance that you do with your musicians. I'm always looking for ways to make things easier for people. I don't ever feel like I'm sacrificing like artistic integrity or whatever. Because sometimes it doesn't really matter what you write. What you're trying to go for is an effect in music. You're trying to go for an affect or an effect to create an affect. There we go. You're going for an effect to create an affect. And the easier it is to read, the better chance you have of creating that affect. So, I could write out all these chords, or I could write like a more complicated version of these chords, but I really just, the idea behind this, the affect was that with this descending bass line. So it's just that, and it's whatever. Technically speaking, I could flesh it out more like this. Actually, this would probably be better. Yeah. I could do that. It's going to be a lot harder to read and play. It will sound better, though, so. So maybe I will write that. I don't know. You know what? Screw it. He'll read that, and he'll like it. But that will be a lot harder to play. Yeah. Oh, well. Ignore everything I just said. I just contradicted myself. Can anybody tell me what's happening? Just came in. I am at the tail end of arranging this piece of music for a concert that I have coming up on March 1st. This piece of music is Sun Gazers Want to Want Me. And I'm writing it and arranging it for a massive horn band. And by massive, it's not actually that massive. There's 7 horns. Bigger than most horn bands, but smaller than a big band. And the concert just is going to be a lot of the things that actually you've seen on my channel over the past like year or two, but just for a larger ensemble. And there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. And right now I'm at the very end of the process. What I'm doing is I'm doing what's called music preparation, which is I'm organizing all the music on the page to look nice for my musicians. Dusty asked, are there any books out there that talk about part layouts and part layout psychology? Yes. Elaine Gould's Behind Bars is considered like the gold standard. I haven't actually read it, but I've seen a bunch of excerpts from it, and it's absolutely amazing. It's highly technical. It is incredibly technical. I don't think anybody quite realizes how, like, once... if you want to get a taste of this, go join the Music Engraving Tips Facebook group. It is... it's a good group. You'll learn a lot. Honestly, most of this just comes down from doing it with a lot of musicians, because like I just, like anything, it's hard to teach this without having learned all the bad, like the reason why I know a lot of these things is because I had bad experiences once, and now I never will do that thing again. As most learning experiences are, you do the thing, and then you have a shitty time doing it, and then you learn the experience, and then you don't do it again. So that's most of what my experiences have been. Piano, oh man, these page turns are going to be poopy. Failure is great. Failure makes the world go round. You know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do repeats. Woo! Actually, no, I'm not going to do repeats. Fuck repeats. Hide empty staves. There we go. Technically, it all fits on... Oh, 4 pages. Well, whatever. Screw you, keyboard player. Ugh. All right. We're almost done, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. I'm actually pretty amazed. There will definitely be more live streams, but I'm going to Europe, actually, in a few days. I'm going to Paris with my girlfriend for a 3-day vacation, meaning I'm intentionally not doing any music stuff or any YouTube stuff for 3 days straight, which is going to feel like a freaking eternity, but I'm trying to be a real human. And then we're going to London, and I'm going to be doing a gig in London, and then a few master classes at BIM. BIM is a music college in the UK. So I'm doing one in Manchester BIM and Bristol, not Brighton. Bristol BIM. BIM. And it'll be fun. So I sent you a pretty long email in Paris and you didn't reply. Oh, I'm sorry, man. There was a few that I didn't get a chance to reply to. I'll reply to it after this. I'm really sorry about that. I'm sometimes bad with getting back to people on things like that, so I really do apologize. I'll respond. But yeah, we decided not to do any gigs or anything in Paris because I just want to. I mean, we'll check out music for sure, but no gigs. I don't want to stress myself out more than I need to because I'm already incredibly stressed, and I would like to not be stressed. So I'll probably be more stressed by focusing on not stressing. So anyway. Yeah, there were a couple emails that I missed, and I'm sorry that the inbox gets ridiculously full sometimes, and I have to play triage, and it's just a pain in the ass, and I'm sorry about that. I feel bad about that. And it happens all the time too. People will send me messages, and I honestly don't have the time to get back to everybody, but obviously patrons come first, and I really do feel bad about that. So I'm gonna go and reply. Take drugs for stress. Maybe maybe. I really never smoke any weed. That's something I just don't do that often. I will drink alcohol, but that has been slowly on the decline just because I don't like the feeling that comes in the morning. So maybe the weed will happen at one point. Whenever I'm in California, I definitely enjoy an edible or two. Why am I even bothering with this bass part? I'm going to be the one reading it. I know this song. I don't need this. I will make these scores available to patrons at some point. Right now, not. No, I'm not going to do that just yet. But I'm planning on doing this whole concert and just releasing a lot of bonus material from it. So this is kind of part of the bonus material, is you get to see me write it. Write the damn thing, sort of. I'm going to be doing, once I get back from London, I'm going to be doing a lot more of these. Maybe actually while I'm in London. I don't know. We shall see. Although I should be focusing on other things while I'm there. I will be live streaming most of the writing process, just as an experiment to see if it actually is a worthwhile thing to see the writing process. Right now, I'm just kind of talking. I'm not really writing. I'm not really doing anything valuable. I'm just kind of this is all the busy work I technically could hire somebody else to do, but I'm enough of a control freak that I can't stand the thought of anybody else doing anything. So I'm just not having them. I'm just, not doing that. Actually, maybe I will. Maybe I will hire somebody to do the copying at some point. what I'm doing right now for the other charts, because that might make more sense than killing myself for all this. Oh, this is fun talking to you, everybody, like this. Honestly, I'll probably thank you for the offer to copy parts. I'll probably, if I do work with somebody and I trust them. Not that I don't trust you, but the reason why I would go with somebody is because I know they know how I like to set things up, and they're very fast. A friend of mine, Brian Kroc. So yeah, I do appreciate the offer, but it's also, some of this might be a little time sensitive, like a little bit time sensitive. So, and this is also one of the things in the music world is the reason why it's hard to get any gigs is people just keep hiring their friends because they know the friends are the ones that will get the job done. And now that I'm in the position to hire people, that's who I want to hire, people that I know have a track record. It's not even like a nepotism thing. I mean, it kind of is, but it's not like a job offer, like where I'm going to be working with somebody for a long period of time where I would like hire like from a pool of applicants. It's like, no, I need this stuff done right now. And I know you know how to do it right now. And can you do it right now? And thank you for doing it right now. So that is why. Bach used to make his students copy Vivaldi's works to learn how to write scores. That's a fantastic idea. Hand copying scores is great. I don't want to do that. I don't ever want to do that. I wanted to use this because this is so much faster. And yeah, this is so much faster. So I'm going to be doing this. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for hanging out and talking with me. This was fun. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this endeavor quite much. It's basically just a means for me to talk at you while I work on this. I like that. I like the company that comes with doing boring things, boring work that otherwise would okay. This drum part looks like ass, but I'm really not quite sure what to do. I could write out the individual groove that Sean played. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I might do that. Just to save time, because one, I do like the idea of actually writing a drum part that a drummer can play just from looking at it. Originally, the idea was I was just going to give Josh the bass line, Josh the drummer, but I think it's just going to be in the long run a little bit nicer to not rely upon the fact that Josh knows his shit. So what I'm doing is I'm copying the rhythm of the bass line into the kick drum. This is kind of what Sean, the normal drummer, played. We just... Yeah, I know I say a bunch of contradictory things on this, just because a lot of the time when you're actually seeing me work, I'm a lot less decisive. I'm way less decisive than when I make a video, because when I make a video, I like, all right, that is, I stand behind that. And now I'm just like, no, I don't really stand behind any of the things that I say. I stand behind exactly zero of it. I mean, it's a delicate balance because I want to write in as much as I can, because I do like, you know, I want to write what it is that I like. I want to write this the way that I want to write it because I like how Sean played it, but I also don't want to like overwrite it to make it so complicated written that it's hard to actually interpret any music out of it. It's a delicate balance. And, you know, a lot of it just comes down to feeling the situation out. Have you ever dropped the bass at a gig? I have dropped basses at gigs before. Oh, I mean, I've dropped basses at plenty of gigs. Oh, my strap is like screwed up and dropped it, and like, oh my god. I mean, no train wrecks. Train wrecks are the more fun stories to tell, but no train wrecks. So this is what it sounds like with the drums. Cool. Sounds like a drummer. Oh, I did tell you guys about the wedding train wreck when the amps started smoking. I'm working on, I have a script for a train wreck script. This is all about train wrecks and how to recover from them. And I tell an even better, I'm not going to spoil the story right now, because there's an even better train wreck than the amp started smoking. But it involves somebody singing "Can You Feel the Love Tonight" by Elton John, and the many hijinks the band used to try and get the person singing in the right key, which they never quite did. By never quite did, I mean definitely never did. And by first dance, you mean it was a first dance, and it was a bad situation. But yeah, I have a script that I've written about that. Cool. Wait, what? I have... Cool. Getting this drum groove written out, more or less, and bonk, bonk, bonk. mallet heads coming off during March. I mean, there's all sorts of like, the thing is like stuff is going to go wrong all the time. In fact, I have equipment failures constantly, and it's through no fault of my own. It's just that's a fact of life. You just like, oh, the amp just cut out. All right, what are you going to do? Well, think on your feet. What else can I do to make sound out of my instrument? Like just a big part of it is just knowing how to roll from the punches from equipment failure. I mean, one of the best examples I know of that is Victor Wooten like playing a bass solo and then a string of his pops and then he keeps playing its bass solo, or like Paganini like playing with a broken string. Your measure of a musician, I feel like, is how you roll with the punches. It's not any technical ability, not how fast you can play. It's how fast you can recover. I think that's the big thing, because stuff will go wrong. Stuff always goes wrong. There's never an instance where stuff doesn't go wrong. I mean, that's just a life lesson right there. And yeah, it's just how you recover from it, because if you recover with aplomb, if it doesn't phase you, if you just like, oh, well, that just happened, that chances are that you have a fair degree of control over the situation and yourself. But if you freak out, and I freak out all the time too, like I definitely like get inside my head. It's not, I sometimes speak from this position of wisdom where it seems like I have all this great wisdom, and just because you know something intellectually doesn't mean that you always have the means of acting upon it in the moment. So a lot of the time I don't, and a lot of the time I freeze and freak out, and it sucks, but it's getting better. Getting better all the time. Yeah, hesitation is bad. Never be thinking about what's happening in the moment. If you have to think about what's going to happen. Never think about what's happening right now. If you do that, you'll be fine. If you think about something that's happening later, that's okay. To be in the future, thinking about stuff in the future, that's okay. Sometimes you need to do that, but never about what's happening right now. Okay, this part looks kind of shitty. Never mind. Hold on. Let me make it look not as shitty. Try to run through with my gear as often as I can just to get as many failures out of the way beforehand as I can. That's very, very smart. Still, there might be something that fails on the gig that you didn't account for. But at the same time, I mean, the more times you run it and the more times you just understand what to do when something fails. I mean, I've had the worst things fail. Exigence, the like big giant like piece of music with the multimedia and whatever. It's a piece for big band and it's about the internet and whatever. It was all being run from a session from Ableton Live, and we get out on stage to perform it. All the muckety mucks and all the people who've like given money to me to like put on this performance, because it was like grant funded, are there in attendance, and I press play and nothing happens, and it's just a blue screen. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And it's just all of us were just sitting up there on stage for about 3 or 4 minutes before we started. And I edited all of that out from the video, but it was one of the more awkward moments in my entire life, because I'm like, I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do right now, because nothing was happening. So I just did a full restart of my system, and it was fun. But it sucked. That was like terrifying. And now I nothing phases me that much anymore. Because to me that was like, as I was standing on that stage, I was like, that was the end of the world, because people had given me several $1,000s to do this thing, and I couldn't do it. All right, this is looking okay, I guess. I guess. Or maybe this. Yeah, okay, that looks a little better. This. Have a good night, Dusty. Thanks for hanging out. There we go. There we go. I figured it out. Now this looks okay. Drums are always the kind of a pain. Like this section looks too complicated. They're always a little bit too much of a pain to actually do. Yeah. I mean, it's hard music, so I don't blame it for looking hard, but I'd prefer it to not look as hard. Oh, sorry, Mr. Manduck. Well, take it easy, Mr. Man. Sorry, it serves me right for looking at the chat only intermittently. Okay, we're almost there. Almost there. Glad you guys have been keeping me honest, because otherwise I'd just be hitting China cymbals. Woo! Okay. Yeah. So, last thing to do, and I'm probably going to proofread this later tonight or I don't know, sometime when I'm not as distracted. Next, final thing is to prepare the score. And honestly, I'm not really going to be conducting or anything, so there's very little reason to actually prepare a nice looking score, but I am going to do this. I'm going to probably prepare the score in portrait mode. I think that's going to look the nicest, and actually I'm going to delete that. There's a way. How do I do this? Text, system object positions. System object position. There we go. There we go. For some reason, yeah, there we go. So I'm just going to make sure the score looks okay. I'm not really going to be using the score, but just in case something happens where I need it, just make sure that it doesn't look like complete ass. Also, I'm probably going to release it anyway to Patreon people, so might as well make it nice and clean and look okay from the get-go. All right, something needs to happen here. What needs to happen? Does this need to happen? Yeah. Yeah. Can you do a transposing score for all your nice patrons? Actually, what am I saying? C-scores are better for study. Yeah, I could do that. I'm probably not going to... Oh, what happened here? Oh, yeah. Piano. Yeah, this top stave was reserved for writing out the melody, but I just don't have enough time to worry about writing out the vocal melody there, so I'm just going to leave it blank for right now. Wait, what happened? Edit, undo. All right, let me just... Any advice on using Ableton in live sessions? Good workflows for multiple player, each running their own session? Oof. Multiple people running their own Ableton session, something that I haven't really messed with yet. I mean, I've done things like used Ableton, multiple people using Ableton to like organize patches. I mean, basically using Ableton as like a glorified main stage. But in terms of hooking up multiple sessions, that's something that's a little trickier. I know it's possible through something called Dante, which is audio through Ethernet, and it's a way of making everything synced, but I just don't know a whole lot about it, so don't quote me on any of that. Some collisions happening. We don't like collisions. Whenever you see a red, it's actually very useful in Sibelius. It just means that things are touching. Doesn't look great. Really doesn't. Whatever. This isn't for professionals. This is just for my dumb friends who I'm paying, and I'm expecting to act at a professional level. So It's not for professionals at all. Did you put a movie on when you did that, the 5-hour lick? No, that was... There's so many people who gave me suggestions on how to cheat after I did that. I literally just played it for 5 hours. That's all I did. There was no cheating. I should have cheated. It was quite intense. It was quite stupid. I knew people would click on it, though. So, who's laughing now? Not me, because I just sold my soul. Great. Fantastic. Having perfect pitch and reading transposing scores can be annoying sometimes. Yeah, it really can. I can't imagine doing that. I know it makes me not a real musician. I hate reading transposing scores. I really do, because when you're trying to communicate to musicians, that's great, but most of the time when you're reading transposing scores, at least for study, you're trying to figure out what's going on. And it's very difficult to know what the hell kind of chord something is if you're reading a transposing score. So I work in concert scores pretty much exclusively, and it's just easier in the long run. Solo, you beautiful, sexy beast. All right, there we go. That is Want to Want Me. So I'll probably do a proofread of this at some point, maybe later tonight or whatever. The next step for me, yeah, I'm probably just going to... Actually, one thing that I'm going to do, now that I have everything kind of laid out-ish how I like, I have the fonts I like, more or less. I mean, I guess I'm... Do I like this font? Maybe I like this font. I'm just going to do that a little bit. Maybe I like this font. I can't quite tell if I like it. Whatever. Consistency is key. So, Want to Want Me. I'm going to make everything lowercase because I want it. Oh, no. Yeah. That looks so stupid. I'll just do everything lowercase, though. Oh, yeah, you were 3 flat 5, flat 6 6. I was that guy. That was an interesting session. That was just me and Ben Levin showing that we were pretty decent at ear training, but we could be a lot better. We could be a lot better. I think I could be a lot better at ear training. But it is nice to know that I can hear certain things. And isn't it tiresome to listen to standard MIDI sounds as opposed to listening to a VST like Contact or something? Yeah, except I'm now getting to the point where I try not to press play to listen back to things that much unless I really need to double check a voicing. So I mean, I really didn't do any of it this session, but if I need to just listen through each one of these voicings, for example, because I know how things are going to sound roughly, and if I just need to double check it, what I'll do is I'll slow it way down like this and just sort of listen to how the dissonances between each one of these voices moves. It doesn't really matter if it's standard MIDI, it could be piano. Honestly, standard MIDI is great because I'm used to hearing certain things within these sounds. So if the sound is too if the sound is too nice sounding, maybe I won't catch it. pretty intense, pretty aggressive. But I like how each one of those things sounded. So when I was doing this earlier, I was testing everything out. Next time I do an arrangement, most of this time of arranging this was literally just like orchestrating things rather than arranging. So next time we're gonna get into the nitty gritty, but I don't know when that's gonna be. I'll just send out an alert and I'll start live streaming and we'll do the arrangement. All right. Thank you everybody for paying attention to me, giving me a reason to live. All right. Until next time, bass.